But just picked up my race number, 209 today. I've got a solid 45 minutes. So the course is pretty short. I think I might walk it a little bit. There's a race going on in a few minutes. So I think I'm just gonna wait and maybe do a kind of just recon the course a little bit. I haven't done this particular course. It's brand new, but they just changed it up, made it a little bit longer. So it's about 0.6 miles around for a lap, and I'm gonna be going for 30 minutes. So we'll see how many laps we get. It should be close to 15 to 20 laps, so it's gonna be quite a bit. But I wanna do that course real quick, and then about 20 minutes before my start time at 10:30, I brought my trainer with me, so I'm just gonna throw that right here, give me some shade, and do a warm-up. It's already super warm out, so I just got to try to stay cool. But I just want to get the legs flowing, get the blood pumping, so this is gonna be a pretty intense race. It's really, really short, and it's kind of like a hot dog crit. So it's gonna have kind of the south end, for example, it's got a really tight turn, and then it's got 4 really sharp turns around a shop, or kind of like a grassy plaza. So that's gonna be really interesting to see what kind of speeds that we can keep up. But I think it's gonna be a sprinter's day, definitely. Usually it is, but with so many corners here, it's gonna be pretty tough. But I'm gonna pin my number on and get going. It'll be my first one with a power meter, so that'll be interesting. So I usually have a tripod with my normal camera, but that's not gonna work today, so I'm trying to find a good spot to place this. I don't know what that's gonna do, but that's the best we got. Pretty happy with that. That was the first guess. Second attempt, looks pretty good. Oh yeah, we'll keep it. It's crazy warm out. It's probably over 90 by now. And I don't got a race for another half hour, so hopefully it doesn't warm up too much. I prefer a nice cool breeze of baking in the sun. I'm just gonna cruise around a little bit, check out the course. The ladies are about to start, so we'll see how they do. I gotta make sure to keep track of the time. My goal for this race is to do a solid warm-up to see how I do. I can't say I'm much of a sprinter, but the last couple races I've warmed up pretty much nothing, and I've been doing okay. I mean, I'd like to improve, but I think my warm-up is something I can really improve on. I got about 40 minutes. Got about 40 minutes, so I think I might just throw the bike on the trainer now. I'm not gonna get a warm-up lap, so let's do that. Hopefully I didn't record everything I just said in time-lapse mode. That would suck. I don't think I did, but I'll repeat a little bit of it. So I'm on the trainer now, and I'm just gonna do about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna get 5 minutes just holding in zone 2. Get the legs used to moving, and then I'll hold it in zone 3 for maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Take another little zone 2 effort, and then just do a couple sprints, maybe 2 sprints to get the legs warmed up. It's going to be a real jumpy course today, so it's really short and a lot of turns. So like I was saying, it's kind of like a hot dog crit, so I expect a lot of sprints. Spin the legs a little bit more. Pushing too big a gear. There we go. Calm it down a little bit. But yeah, super nice day. Not a cloud in the sky, but you can see we got some wind coming through those trees, so that's super nice. Hopefully it keeps the temperature down, because it's pretty warm right now. Whew. The ladies are racing right now, and then I've got next. So it's about 30 minutes from now. It'll be nice and warm right before the start. All right, I'm gonna focus here. All right, so I just finished my warm up. About 17 minutes. Race starts in 15. My trainer got a little hot. GoPro seems okay. Yeah, that was piping hot. So for the remaining 15 minutes, I'm just gonna cool down, swap the skewer on the bike. Should be able to do a warm-up lap before the race. Usually allow one lap, and then I'll call everybody to the start. But I feel pretty good. Got the heart rate up a little bit, just to make sure that come race time, I'm not going to 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. All right, I'm gonna throw this camera on the bike. Let's get racing. All right, so I just checked, those were the race results. So I got 5th out of 13. Pretty fast course. Like I said, the first half was downhill, and you got pretty good speed going down. And there was like a ridiculous roundabout, and then that hot dog turn was just killing people alive. You try to put too much speed on it, and then end up just braking way too hard. And then after the hot dog turn, you had a mean climb, and you wouldn't think that the climb would be so hard, because the grade didn't look that bad. But as soon as you start putting some power down, you could really start to feel it. So I was surprised. It was easily over like 300 watts, and the average speed for this course was like only 20 miles per hour, so not very fast. But on those downhills, you really couldn't make the most out of it because of those sharp turns. And then on the way up, you pretty much is where you had to like overtake or kind of put a gap in between people. So that was pretty tough. Completely different than what I thought. I thought the downhill is where I'd be able to make up some spots, but by the time you made it up that nasty hill and did through some of those technical turns, you were right on the downhill, and you just couldn't catch your breath fast enough. So that was pretty interesting. I had to change my race tactics, and then about 7-8 laps to go, people started pulling off their front, so just one at a time. So there's really no bunch, and it was me and Alan. Thanks for pulling at the end there. It was just us two, and there was no way we're gonna bridge any gap to the front. So for the last like 3 or 4 laps, I kind of just sucked his wheel and then saved it for the end. I ended up getting him just on the last little bit there, but he definitely pulled really hard, so thanks for pulling. But yeah, that was pretty tough. And it's hot out here too. For hot races like this, you definitely have to stay on your feet. So here in Arizona, it's a little bit late into the crit season, but it's so hot out, and my lungs were burning, so I wanted to stand up and catch my breath. But as soon as I got my breath back, I kind of sat down, and don't do that. My head's starting to feel a little woozy, so I got some water left over, and I'm glad I ended up bringing my bottle. I was debating whether to bring it. With 30-minute crit races, you know, you don't really need a whole lot of water, but it's just so hot out here. So I drank one of these before the race, 24 ounces, and then I pretty much drank a whole 20 ounce during the race, which was surprising, but it's hot out, so you definitely got to stay hydrated here in Arizona. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with the result. There's some really good riders out today, so can't argue with that. One guy from the very first lap, he just took off and nobody ever caught him, so hats off to him. He definitely deserved it. And then after that, like I said, there was 3 other riders in front of me, and they were pretty much all riding solo, kind of onesie and twosies here and there, but there was no way I was going to be able to hold up with them. But like I said, so I finished right in the middle, 5th out of 13. Seems to be about where I've been holding up, but this race was definitely the most difficult. The normalized power for this crit was 255, which is pretty good. So like I said, my FTP is 250, and to be able to go off and on was pretty difficult. So I'm surprised that 255 is that high, but that was normalized. I think average power for the whole crit was 200, which wasn't bad, but you pretty much went into the red every time you tried to climb, so kind of dropped your power numbers on the way down. But I got a long drive back home. Hope you enjoy the race. Be safe.